Hello and welcome to my channel. This week I'm going to be looking at an air purifier from Resiners. They kindly sent me this and asked me to test it out. So I thought I'd unbox it and show you what it looks like. So when I open the box, I find a pamphlet that will have instructions in there, and it all looks pretty clear. You've got nice clear diagrams and easy to follow instructions. So I'll put that to one side. The packaging, it looks like it's really well packaged. So I'll just remove that out the way. I've got a UK plug, which is always nice. And this is what it looks like. I need two hands to get it out of the box. It's not that heavy, but it is quite tall. So here's the top. You've got buttons on the top, and measurement wise it's about 48 centimeters tall, and I measured across the base and that was 20 centimeters wide. So it isn't too bad if space is tight. So I've taken the top off of it, and this is the filter. So you've just got to take the plastic off of that, and then that slots back in place. And there are some markings on the top of it that tell you which way up it needs to be. So the top will fit back on here, but there is a little cable that you need to connect first. And again, I needed a couple of hands to do that. The power port is at the back on the base, and you just need to slot that cable in. When you first power it up, it runs through a priming sequence. And you can see that you've got some lovely green lights on the front. That lets you know that everything's okay. And there is a more detailed display screen on the top, which will give you information such as temperature, humidity, and the levels of VOCs in your atmosphere. The fan has 3 speeds. It's currently on the quietest. If I press it again, it goes to the second speed. And if I press it for a third time, so you can see this one is quite loud. You wouldn't want to be filming with this noise. Turn it back to the first speed. But this one's a bit more acceptable. When high levels are detected, you get red lights on the front. Okay, I've put it in my craft room, and I'm going to make something using some epoxy, and we'll see how this works. I've got it currently running on the lowest setting, and I'm going to leave it like that whilst I'm filming, and I'll wait and see how quickly it detects the VOCs. Now you can find VOCs not just in epoxy resin or UV resin. It could be in glues, varnishes, some paints, a wide range of things, even the alcohol that we use. So it's very useful to have a purifier that will remove those. My craft studio is in my house. It's just a spare bedroom. I don't want to have the windows open for ages after I've done a project. Having a purifier like this will be great to help clean out any of the leftover fumes. So I've been cleaning this mould out with some masking tape, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up some epoxy. I'm using craft resin. Okay, voice over me because I'm still wearing a mask. See, I'm mixing up my resin, and it's already detected the fumes, and I've only been mixing this for 4 minutes or so. I've mixed up 125 mils approximately, and I've put some into a little silicone cup, and now I've got some broken glass that has been silver plated. So I am going to put probably about 5 spoonfuls in my cup, 5 or 6. And I'll just take a stick, and I'm going to stir that around quite gently just to make sure that there are bubbles that might have got trapped in there can release and come to the surface, and to make sure that all of the glass chips are covered in some resin. I don't want any clumps and lumps because they will harbour bubbles. I want to put the chips around the edge. I started off pouring it, but then I realised the glass was heavy and therefore it had sunk to the bottom of the cup. So I used my spoon to ladle it out and literally spoon it into the side of the tray mould. I do want it confined to the edges, so I'm trying to be careful just to get it in there first time. I don't really want to have to scrape it off of the surface of the tray. It is glass after all, and I don't want that to scratch. Equally, I'm trying not to poke my spoon in there and move it around, drag it along the bottom. I'm being really gentle and just scraping the surface. As I say, it is glass and you do run the risk of potentially scratching your mould. So I tried to get it as even as possible and distribute it all the way round. And I knew I had more than I needed, but that was okay. So the rest of the resin, the clear resin, I'm going to pour that into the middle, and I will put a decent amount. Now I don't want it too thick because I am going to build this up. So I'm just going to coat my surface, and I'm tipping my mould so that I can get the resin to go all the way to the edges and join up what I have already put down and cover up any holes. Just get a nice even coverage. And I should mention that I am using craft resin here, which does debubble easily. I don't have a debubbler, so I haven't used that. So I'm spritzing it with some isopropyl alcohol to help release those bubbles. And then I'm just going to leave it for a few seconds so that the alcohol can evaporate. Now Resiners also kindly sent me some dried flowers, and I asked if they would send me some pink ones. So they've given me a lot of lovely ones to choose from. I'm going to go ahead and open this packet, and then I can lay these into my tray. So you get quite a lot in the packet, and I'm just going to move that tray out of the way and then have a bit of a clean up. I managed to get some drips of resin all over the place, and I know I'm not going to be using all of these flowers in this tray, so I'll want to be able to put that back into the other packet. So along with the 4 packets of flowers, you get a pair of tweezers, which is quite handy, and you get an awful lot of flowers in these packets. I'm just going to peel back my plastic, and the flowers are a little bit staticky. I haven't really used dried flowers before. I have put faux foliage and flowers into some resin, but we'll see how I go. I also need to remember that I am going to be working from the front, which is laying down at the bottom of my mould, and I'm going to be working backwards. I'm going to fast forward this and let you watch what I'm doing. For the most part, I will be just placing them down in the resin, trying to lay down one side and make sure that there aren't any bubbles trapped. But anything large, I will coat with some resin. So let me put this on fast forward and I'll leave you with some music.
Petals frozen in a timeless dance, whispers held in a fragile stance, shades of pinks that never fade away, greens that linger like a spring ballet, dried flowers keep the love alive, and the colors where memories thrive, pressed between pages held so tight, everlasting beauty in soft sunlight. Fragile edges speak of you.
I'm going to leave this now to completely set, and once it has, I will come back and add another layer of resin. Okay, it's the next day and this is completely set. I'm mixing up some more resin to coat this. The flowers are set, but they are exposed on the back. I only set them in a very shallow part of resin so that they wouldn't float around or move out of shape. And now that they are all fixed and I don't need to worry about them moving, I just need to cover the back now to protect it. I mixed 3 pumps each of the craft resin, and I didn't know if that would be enough, but I scraped out as much as I could, and then I used my heat gun to make it liquid so that I could get it to flow over the entire back of the piece. Then I just tilted my tray until I got all of the area covered. The centre of the rose was slightly thicker and it was still protruding a little bit, so there wasn't enough resin on the back. I tried to scrape as much as I could out of the pot, and you can see on this edge it's still not quite covered. So I felt like I needed some more resin. I decided to mix up 2 more pumps of the resin to cover it. I just gave it a quick spritz with the isopropyl alcohol to help eliminate any bubbles. Then I left it to cure, and I will be back when I'm ready to demold. Okay, it is all set and I can now start to demold it. This demolds so easily, this dish. You just need to release the suction of the mould and pull it away. And now I get to have a look and see if I've got any bubbles. Too bad. I do have a few just on the rose, which is comical really, because that's where I put the additional resin before I put it in there. But I love the sparkle around the edge, and I really love these. I don't know what they're called. Are they Queen's Anne lace? But they're very, very pretty. I could have done with a little bit more sparkle in that area, but I love it. That's really pretty, and I love these flowers. So thank you very much to Resiners, and thank you for letting me test the air purifier. I put it on full blast once I had finished making this, and it cleared the fumes from the room nicely. I heartily recommend it if you do a lot of epoxy resin. It doesn't replace your respirator, but it is a great addition to your craft room. Check the description box for links and for a 15% discount code. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. And I want to say welcome to all my new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, please do consider joining me. Click the link below this video. It's free, you don't have to be a member or anything, and you'll be able to see what I'm going to be making next time. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you back here soon. Bye!